I found a book that I hadn't seen for a long time. And the name of the book is Bennie Engie. And it actually was a book that Bradley received Christmas of 1985 from his kindergarten teacher, Love Miss McKay. So we'll read it today, and hopefully Bradley will hear the story and remember it. Bennie Engie was a locomotive with a coal car, 2 passenger cars, and a baggage car fastened on behind. And unlike all the trains that Bennie Engie had ever known, he didn't have a single problem in the world to be sad about. He had a good strong whistle. His firebox and boiler and wheels were in good order, and he blew the best steam and the finest smoke in all the world. He was in no danger of being replaced by a newer engine that could run faster or climb higher hills than he could. Bennie Engie made 4 trips each day between 2 big cities 60 miles apart, with 27 stops at all the little towns along the way. Some trains would have said, "I wish I was a fast through train." Look at the smoke. He's going up the hills and down the hills and up the hills and down the hills. And did not have to stop 27 times at all the little towns along the way. I wish I could be something besides a slow old local. But not Bennie. He never once said such a thing. He liked being a slow old local. Not because he was lazy, but because he liked to take things easy and enjoy life. And look around and see things. As he puffed along, he rolled his dreamy eyes from left to right and never missed a single thing. He watched birds fly and clouds float and cows munch grass and bees buzz about and sheep lie on the hillside in the shade of apple trees. There's the apple trees. And there he goes, around the cows. He watched men driving cars and women hanging out clothes, and boys riding their bicycles, and little girls pushing doll buggies around. He looked at houses and bridges and rivers, and then, when he was tired of rolling his eyes around, he looked down at the shining rails and counted railroad ties as they went by under his cowcatcher. 30, 201, 30, 202, 30, 203. He's got a lot of counting to do. One morning, as Bennie Engie left the roundhouse for his first run, he heard the engineer say to the fireman, "Well, that is the last day that we'll be making the local run. Bennie Engie is going to be a fast-through train and go halfway across the United States with just 4 stops and short stops. No more of these slow old local trips for us." "Woohoo!" snorted Bennie with a short, sharp toot of his whistle. "I wonder how I'm going to like that." The next day the workmen started to work on Bennie. They squirted oil all over his insides and gave him a new engine, 2 new wheels, 3 coats of paint. In just a few days, he roared out of the roundhouse with his new engine, turning his wheels faster than they had ever turned before. His whistle screeched and his clackety-clack over the rails so fast that he couldn't count a single railroad tie as they whizzed by under his cowcatcher. Away from the city, out into the country, he chug-a-puffed. Zip! Past a town he went without even slowing down. Wow, I wonder how he likes that, because he liked it slow and visiting everybody. Zip! Through another town he flew, but he was going so fast that he didn't dare take his eyes off the track, so he didn't see anything but a great big blur as he went past. He tried to look at something that seemed to be cows, but zip! They were just blurs as they whizzed by. He tried rolling his eyes fast enough to see something that looked like a house, but it was just a blur, and he roared by. Everything, boys, bridges, clouds, girls, rivers, birds, and bees, were just blurs as he went racing along. Wow, look how fast he's going. Hardly daring to look to the right or to the left. Whoa, snorted Bennie Engie. I just don't like this at all. But because he knew he had a job to do, he made the trip halfway across the United States and tried hard to be happy about it. But now Bengie was just like all the other trains he had ever known. He had a problem in life, and he was very, very sad. Then one very sad day, Bengie found that he couldn't remember what anything looked like. House blurs looked like buggy blurs. Cloud blurs looked like boy blurs. Cow blurs looked like river blurs. Bee blurs looked like bridge blurs. Tree blurs looked like horse blurs. And girl blurs looked like auto blurs. Even the railroad ties that Bennie Engie loved so much were just one big blur after another. So Bengie made smoke pictures for himself as he roared along. See the smoke? Now, this is what a cow looks like, he thought. And this is a house. And here's the doll buggy, and this is a horse. Here is a cloud, and this, I'm sure, is a bee. Cows and houses and baby doll buggies, horses and bees, and just a plain little cloud. No, screeched Bengie, with his whistle full of tears. I don't want to just remember one thing from another. I want to really see them again. Bengie got so upset that his whistle wouldn't blow right. He coughed and he spluttered and he cried big steamy tears that ran down and rusted important levers, which made his wheels turn wobbly and shake the cars about. What is the matter with this train? Asked the passengers and the conductor. What is wrong with Bennie Engie? Asked the engineer. I never saw him act this way before, said the fireman. Instead of getting better, Bengie got worse and worse, not because he wanted to, but because he couldn't help it. If only I were a slow old local again and could see something besides blurs, sighed Bengie. Oh, look at him crying. Poor Bengie. Then one day, Bennie Engie's whistle wouldn't blow at all. Coal wouldn't even splutter in his firebox. His wheels wouldn't turn. and he couldn't puff out so much as a thimbleful of steam or smoke. Bennie Engie is not the locomotive he used to be, said the president of the railroad. We had better put him in the roundhouse for a few days and see if we can get him to go again. And then, said the president slowly, we shall have to put him back on the slow old local run. That is all he's good for now. Bennie Engie wanted to jump for joy as he was taken to the roundhouse, but he didn't dare. There's the president of the company. He's the one that makes all the rules. The workmen took the 2 new wheels off and put the old ones on again. They took out the new engine and gave him the old one back. Then they squirted oil inside and out until he was shiny and greasy. The very next day, Bennie Engie went back to the slow old local run. He had to remember not to act too frisky for fear of them being made a fast-through train again. Bennie Engie was once again a happy, healthy train, for now he didn't have a problem in life anymore. From one big city to the other big city, 60 miles away, with 27 stops along the way. He liked his old job. Bennie Engie took his time and rolled along. He saw bridges and rivers and bees and houses, boys on bicycles, men driving autos, women hanging up clothes, and little girls pushing doll buggies around. So Bennie Engie finally got a chance to do what he really wanted to do all along, and enjoy a quiet, easy life with all his friends.